Good
Hello,
morning, Orod.
Soma. How are
Hi.
you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Welcome back. How was India?
India was very hot and humid, sadly. But good to be back, in the country you were born and meet people, have some good homemade food. So, yes, that was nice. A
Oh,
nice.
lovely. I miss Indian food. And it's good that you come back because now we can record another episode.
I know. I
And
missed
I
it.
think
Yeah.
we started last year in May. So that can be our anniversary. So
Anniversary episode. That is
congratulations to both
amazing.
of us.
I know. And cheers to our partnership.
Absolutely. All right. So today I want to talk about a conversation that I recently had with one of the middle managers.
Hmm.
And he said in Scrum,
Hmm.
after sprint planning, people commit to or plan to deliver this 10 work or whatever. So when I look,
Hmm.
I know that these 10 works will be delivered in the next 2 weeks.
Hmm.
But I can't have this kind of understanding in Kanban. So, what do you think about this?
Hmm.
Do you think we can tell managers that what will be delivered in the next 2 weeks when we use Kanban method?
Well, yes, I believe that it's a big myth that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people have that uh, Kanban, people can take advantage of Kanban and they can just go on and on without letting people know that when something is going to be delivered. However, that is not true. We both have covered that in multiple episodes because whenever we are accepting any work in Kanban, we also, try and understand the lead time of the past work. We do
Mm-hmm.
more mathematical calculation to understand the kind of work that we are working on. And we will also get to an SLA.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when can this be delivered? We give kind of those kind of estimation to our stakeholder. So
Yeah.
when you think
So
about,
in this scenario, the SLA is that 2 weeks.
yes, so so in 2 weeks, when we talk about Scrum, we don't deliver features or epics in 2 weeks, though, right?
Sure.
It's the stories.
Yeah.
It's the chunks of a big work.
Yeah.
Um, that's one thing. However, yes, like when we are talking about Kanban, we have replenishment
Mm-hmm.
session, which is very similar to planning
Mm-hmm.
in sprint planning. And when we have capacity, we take something on and we keep checking on the progress on a regular basis to see that where the work is at and when
Mm-hmm.
that be delivered. So that is giving anyone a more real-time update. Plus, we have the SLA for the big chunk of work, which is like, let's say, a feature or a epic, whatever you are
Yeah.
calling it. So that is, for me, that is giving me more
Mm.
predictability and certainty. And if I am the middle manager,
Yes.
so to give you a scenario, let's say, Oroth, I am the middle manager and I have to convey it to my, higher ups like senior
Sure. Yeah.
execs that when this feature to release, a customer goal is going to be delivered.
Mm.
So I can get to the team. So let's say you have a team who is practicing Kanban. I come to you, I say, Oroth, this is the feature that we need to deliver. Could you please have a look and tell me that what is, the realistic timeline?
Mm.
You look at the lead time, you look at the similar kind of features that the team has delivered. So you tell me that, Soma, this will take me 6 weeks
Mm-hmm.
for us to deliver this 6 weeks. So 6 weeks, in 6 weeks, you have already like 6 to 7 weeks, you give me that range. In 6 to 7 weeks, this the whole feature will be delivered. So I'm going back to my senior exec that this is the timeline I've got. And then I come to you, say, every week and ask
Yeah.
you that, "Gaurav, where are we at?" And because you meet your team every day in a Kanban meeting, you are getting me more realistic timeline and the updates. So I don't have to worry about it. So in that way, I'm more at peace. And the data that you have, like based on which you have given me the timeline,
Yeah.
is actually coming from real data,
Mm.
not just
So, yeah, sorry, please continue.
no, that's all I had to
Yeah.
say. Like,
Um, so maybe, I elaborate his problem.
hmm,
He said, when I look at the Scrum team,
hmm,
I know that these works will be delivered in 2 weeks. But when I look at the Kanban
hmm,
teams, right,
hmm,
it's a board with lots of cards. I
hmm,
don't know when these cards will be delivered, right? So it's too messy, too much works on the wall, on the board, right?
hmm,
So I think what he said, it's actually quite true, and it's a common anti-pattern.
hmm,
When Kanban teams start designing their board, they
hmm,
don't put this commitment point to the board.
hmm,
So, and I think in a different episode, we talk about the uh, first commitment point and second commitment point, which basically show the boundary of the team,
yes,
and it represent that which works actually committed by the team, and
hmm,
which work it's done by the team, it's outside of the
hmm,
team boundary, for example. So I told him that your concern is valid.
hmm,
What they've done, it's a board with lots of cards. It's not the Kanban system. It's not what
hmm,
we call it Kanban system, because in Kanban system, you need to know when the team committed to work and when the team
hmm,
is finished.
hmm,
If the board doesn't have this, then I think what he said is absolutely correct. So maybe what I can um, suggest to people who's using Kanban is to design a board to send this kind of information to the team and other people, stakeholders, manager, so
hmm,
they can differentiate between the work that's actually committed and will be delivered and the works it will be committed in the future or might be committed in the future, because some
hmm.
work might not be even committed.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Arod. And the other thing is that whenever a Kanban board is designed, the information that you just mentioned, those are the whole purpose of making things visible, right?
Hmm.
So you don't have to go and keep checking with other people. And the prioritized, you know,
Hmm.
you have to keep it prioritized. Like when it is option, when people go for replenishment,
Yes.
it's very important meeting because people are talking about the priority and those decisions are made based on the priority. Now if the scene, like the middle manager,
Hmm.
is worried that they don't know what will be prioritized, if they can make it to the replenishment meeting, that will solve that problem.
That's true if they have this commitment point, because without commitment point, replenishment has no meaning,
Yes,
right?
that's right. That's right.
So, as I said, this is very common. People normally use Kanban because they think, and I think we talk about this one in another episode as well.
Hmm,
People use Kanban and they think, okay, I use Kanban because I can do whatever I want to do.
hmm.
And the
Yes.
Kanban board means, okay, it's a board with lots of cards, right? So if we don't want people come and keep asking,
Hmm,
then we need to design a board in a way that send the information to the people, or
hmm,
right information to the people, right?
hmm,
So they look at the board and they understand what's happening.
hmm,
Then they don't come and ask, because people don't normally come and
hmm.
ask question if they already have the answer.
Have the
Right?
answer.
People come and ask question when
Hmm,
they can't get the answer from this
hmm,
board.
hmm.
You know what I mean?
I love what you said because this is a very strong and important message that you have given in those last two sentences. So people apply Kanban the visualization,
Mm,
like just visualizing the work. But what you're trying to say, what we have been saying in many episodes, implementing a Kanban system is a bit different than just using the board for visualization, right? And that's
absolutely.
exactly what you just said in the last two sentences is that if you are just applying Kanban, the visualization mechanics to it, It is not going to solve everything. It's
Mm.
very useful. It's super useful. It's a tool.
Yeah. In
Right.
fact, it can confuse people if we don't visualize the right things and
Right
don't
thing,
visualize them in the
exactly.
right
Yes.
way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to think of applying the Kanban system. The
Mm-hmm.
whole thing, like, for example, the commitment points, you should have some kind of WIP limit so that it doesn't overwhelm people as well, right? Like you have to, like, what happens in Scrum? They apply WIP limit to the whole sprint.
Sure.
They are putting in things, like pulling in things based on their velocity or capacity. Same thing should be applied to your Kanban system, the board as well, that
Mm-hmm.
you should be only like identifying your capacity and put the WIP limits in so that it is not too much for anyone to see that there's like 100 cards on the board. So that's really, really powerful message and I really loved it. So
Mm-hmm.
this should be one of the key takeaway from this session as well,
Yes.
that when we say Kanban, what form of Kanban are you applying to the work that you are doing? Is it only the visualization that you just want to visualize work, or you are actually applying the Kanban system,
Mm-hmm.
where you are thinking of all these things to make the board more interactive because
Mm-hmm.
to be able to send
Informative.
signal.
Yes.
Yes. It's like you can actually communicate with the board. You can look at it, you can make decisions based on that. That hey, this is too much, too crowded, this column.
Yep.
Shall I go and talk to that part of the team? What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
How can we unblock it? How can we make the flow smoother?
Absolutely. All right. Sounds good. Okay, so just to summarize and wrap up, if someone come and say Kanban doesn't give me the information,
Mm,
I don't know when this work will be done, but when I look at the Scrum team, I know that this 10 works that they plan will be delivered in the next 2 weeks.
mm,
We can say that look at your board,
mm,
identify the commitment point on your board,
mm,
and the SLA. What is the SLA?
mm,
For example, in this scenario, you can say 2 weeks,
mm,
right? From first commitment point until second commitment point, your SLA will be 2 weeks.
mm,
So your Kanban board should give this information to the people.
mm.
So when they look at the board, they get the answers for their questions. And that's one way you can build the trust between the team and the stakeholders.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Is there anything else you want to add?
Uh,
Takeaway?
I think that's really great. And also put some thought to the replenishment meeting because that's a very, very
Mm,
important and powerful meeting. So that also gives out a lot of information to your stakeholder that what has been prioritized and why, and when the team thinks that they can finish it based on the data on the lead.
absolutely. So, people who listen to the podcast or watch us on YouTube, if you don't know about commitment points or the replenishment meeting, or you do it but it's not quite effective, feel free to reach out to us, and I'm sure Soma also will be happy to talk to you. I'm also always keen to talk about people who use Kanban and share our experience with them.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And happy anniversary.
Happy.
Kanban Lab is 1 year old now.
Yay. Thank you. Thanks, Orod. And thank you, everyone, for supporting us.